Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do the February 20th just for today in a meditation. The title of our meditation today is Powerlessness and Personal Responsibility. Through our inability to accept personal responsibilities, we were actually creating our own problems. That comes from the basic text, page 13. When we refuse to take responsibility for our lives, we give away all of our personal power. We need to remember that we are powerless over our addiction, not our personal behavior. Many of us have misused the concept of powerlessness to avoid making decisions or to hold on to things we had outgrown. We had claimed powerlessness over our own actions. We have blamed others for our circumstances rather than taking positive action to change those circumstances. If we continue to avoid responsibility, by claiming that we are powerless, we set ourselves up for the same despair and misery we experienced in our active addiction. The potential for spending our recovery years feeling like victims is very real. Instead of living our lives by default, we can learn how to make responsible choices and take risks. We may make mistakes, but we can learn from these mistakes. A heightened awareness of ourselves and an increased willingness to accept personal responsibility gives us the freedom to change, to make choices, and to grow. Just for today, my feelings, actions, and choices are mine. I will accept responsibility for them. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. So we're talking about powerlessness and personal responsibility. And I think I've done the same thing. You know, as soon as I started learning about this powerlessness, right, over addiction, I started to apply it in places that it didn't belong. You know, there's a balance. I want to say to the newcomer, there's a balance in everything, right? And then we hear things like, we're responsible for our recovery, not our disease, right? And so that translates sometimes to the things that I did during actively using. I'm not responsible for those things. Well, if that was the case, why would we even have a step 8 and 9? If you were not responsible for the things that you did during the disease of addiction you're actively using, right? Why would we need to add those individuals and institutions on our list in step 8? Yeah, we make amends wherever possible, right? When we can do so, and it's not going to cause more mayhem, we do it, right? And so we are responsible for our behavior. But there is a tendency, and I jumped on that bandwagon myself. You know, there is a tendency when you hear that, this powerlessness over the disease of addiction, we start misapplying that. That is misinformation, miseducation of MightyStream. And so we have to be aware that we are absolutely responsible for our behavior. We don't get a pass just because we're addicts. And I think it is questionable to go around in recovery saying my disease was just running riot, right? As though that excuses the things that you were doing. You know, our disease can run riot when we're not even using drugs. And some people will use, that was my disease. Oh, my disease is talking today. Is it? how loud is it talking? Because I can see the behavior. I can't hear your disease, right? I can see it. I can't hear it. And so we have to be careful, guys, about what we try to rationalize away. When I put the drug down, I am now in a position to make choices. And that, in some ways, is considered power. I have the power to choose today. I have the power to love who I want to today, right? So we receive some power, right? We're surrendering to win. So we receive some power as a direct result of not using anymore. The problem is that with that, sometimes we haven't learned the spiritual principles that we are yet to gain. And so what happens is sometimes we default to what is the course of least resistance for us, especially when it comes to our behaviors. We have to use this newfound discovery of ourselves, this newfound level of authority within ourselves, that power to choose to do the right thing and to own up to when we have it. And life goes so much easier for me when I own up to my mistakes right away, rather than blaming this person, that person, this situation. Life goes so much easier for Mighty Stream when I own up to the part that I have played in things. And you will hear that quite a bit in recovery. My actions, my feelings, and my choices all belong to me, and I accept responsibility for them. That is where we're trying to go. And so anytime during the course of a day, you find yourself reasoning within, well, I'm going to do this because so-and-so did that. Make sure before you do just that, because you do have the power to control your behavior, make sure it lines up with the spiritual principles that you do understand, that you do know. Kindness, love, loyalty. Make sure it adds up with those and you'll be just fine. My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. I hope that you have a beautiful day on purpose.